Hi, my name is 𝗬𝗃𝗃𝗀. My wife Sonia was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in January 2020 at the age of 65. I had seen so many family caregivers suffer physically, emotionally, and psychologically, sometimes to the point where their own health deteriorated faster than the loved one they were caring for. I was determined not to let this disease take me down as well, and it didn't. I won the battle, and you can too. Watch this short video to the end for more details. I want to start by acknowledging something very important. Making the decision to move a loved one into a memory care facility is one of the hardest choices any family caregiver will ever face. It's emotional, it's overwhelming, and it's filled with uncertainty. But as difficult as it is, there comes a time when it may be the best and safest option for both you and your loved one. I faced that choice, which I'll discuss later in this video. Today, I want to help you recognize the signs that indicate it may be time for your loved one to transition into a memory care facility. My goal is not to push anyone toward a decision, but rather to provide clarity, support, and reassurance as you navigate this challenging journey. There's no single moment when you just know it's time. Instead, it's usually a series of gradual changes that build up over time. Let's go over some of the key signs that indicate a move to memory care might be necessary. Sign number 1, safety concerns. Safety is one of the biggest reasons families make the decision to move a loved one into memory care. Some red flags include wandering and getting lost. Has your loved one started wandering out of the house or getting lost in familiar places? Frequent falls or injuries. Are they experiencing falls, burns, or unexplained bruises because they forget how to navigate their home safely? How about leaving appliances on? Have they left the stove on, forgotten to turn off running water, or had close calls with fire hazards? And here's a big one, medication mismanagement. Are they forgetting to take their medication, or taking too much by mistake, or mixing two together that shouldn't be together? If any of these issues are becoming frequent, memory care provides a structured, secure environment where your loved one can receive 24/7 supervision and care. The second sign, declining physical health. Memory loss doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the body too. You may notice significant weight loss or gain due to forgetting to eat or eating improperly. Poor hygiene, such as wearing the same clothes for days or neglecting to bathe. Unexplained injuries that they can't remember how they got. A worsening of existing health conditions because they forget doctor's appointments or refuse care. In memory care, staff ensures that your loved one gets proper nutrition, hygiene support, and medical attention to maintain their quality of life. The third sign, increased caregiver stress and burnout. Let's talk about you for a moment. As a family caregiver, you are giving so much of yourself to care for your loved one, but sometimes that care becomes more than one person can manage. Are you feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained? Do you struggle with feelings of guilt, frustration, or even resentment? Is your own health suffering due to the stress of caregiving? Are you sacrificing your job, relationships, or personal well-being? If caregiving has reached a point where it is negatively impacting your life in significant ways, it may be time to consider professional care. Memory care isn't about giving up. It's about ensuring both you and your loved one have the best quality of life possible. The fourth sign, increasing behavioral and emotional changes. Dementia can bring about challenging behaviors that can be difficult to manage at home, including aggression or violent outbursts, extreme anxiety or paranoia, depression and social withdrawal, sundowning, where they become increasingly agitated or confused later in the day. In our case, Sonia had become disruptive to the family. We own a duplex, and one of our sons and two of our granddaughters live upstairs from us. Sonia, who is the greatest grandma, crawling on the floor with her granddaughters, we have 6, playing dress up and makeup, became the mean grandma, going upstairs several times in the evening after adult daycare, where they loved her. She was always helping them, setting up the activities, helping them put things away, to banging on the door, scaring the kids. It came to a head when my son told me he was interviewing for a job in Ashland, Oregon, where his wife is from. We live in Los Angeles, California. My heart sunk. I felt as if I was being abandoned. At the same time, Sonia developed Capgras syndrome, named after a French psychologist from the 1920s. It's an irrational belief that the person she's looking at, me, is an imposter, and nothing can shake that belief. We'd be sitting on the sofa. She'd look over and ask where I lived, and then told me to get out before she called the police. She'd run next door to tell the neighbor about the strange man in her house. I'd take a walk for about 30 minutes, and by the time I came back, I'd find her crying, wondering where I'd been. She had no recollection of what had taken place. This affects about 15% of Alzheimer's patients. I didn't want to move Sonia just because it was expedient for me. That didn't feel right. So I called her geriatric psychiatrist, her therapist, and her nurse practitioner at the Pacific Neuroscience Institute in Santa Monica, California. I asked why she behaved so well at daycare, but it was a different story when she got home. I was told it was because the daycare had structured activities, whereas at home it was like the Wild West. They felt it was probably time for Sonia to move. Just so you know, because I'll probably get asked this question, my son never did move because his mom moved. And he had told me it was the most difficult decision he had ever made in his life, choosing between his mother and his family when he was thinking about moving elsewhere. Back to the story. Memory care facilities have trained staff who specialize in handling these behaviors with patience, understanding, and professional strategies to help your loved one feel safe and supported. Sonia moved into a memory care facility for 22 months before moving back home. As the disease progressed, she became less aggressive and much more calm. The fifth sign, lack of social engagement. Isolation is another major concern. As dementia progresses, your loved one may withdraw from social activities, forget how to interact with others, or become lonely. Socialization is crucial for emotional well-being, and memory care communities offer structured activities, social interaction, and therapeutic programs designed specifically for individuals with memory loss. Now, on to you, the caregiver, overcoming your guilt and your fear. One of the biggest obstacles to making this decision is the feeling of guilt. You may think, I promised I would never put them in a home, or I should be able to do this on my own. Let me remind you, choosing memory care is not a betrayal of your love or your promise. It is an act of love. You are ensuring that your loved one receives the care, structure, and attention they need in a way that you alone may no longer be able to provide. And just because they move into a facility doesn't mean you stop being their caregiver. You're still their advocate, their source of love, and their connection to family. Once you recognize that memory care is the best option, the next challenge is making the transition as smooth as possible. Here are some steps to help. Visit facilities early. Don't wait for a crisis. Start touring memory care communities now to find the best fit. Involve your loved one if possible. If they're still able to express preferences, include them in discussions about where they will be living. Make their new space familiar. Bring personal items, photos, and cherished belongings to make their new home feel like home. Be prepared for an adjustment period. It takes time for both you and your loved one to settle into the new reality. Lean on support groups, friends, and family during this transition. I know this decision is painful. I know it's not easy, but I also know that ensuring your loved one receives the best care possible is one of the greatest acts of love you can give. You're not alone in this journey. There are resources, professionals, and support systems available to help you navigate this process. Trust that you are doing what is best, not just for them, but for yourself as well. Thank you for your love, your dedication, and your willingness to have this conversation. Your loved one is lucky to have you, and I honor the care and love you have given them. Whatever you decide, know that you're doing your best, and that is good enough. As promised at the beginning, Sonia's journey became the inspiration for a course I created called caregivermasterycourse.com. It's a roadmap to help family caregivers find their heaven island. That's what I call it. That's the place where you can finally let go of the stress, the guilt, the anger, and the resentment that caregiving often stirs up. It's a place of peace, acceptance, and clarity. A state of mind where you can be the caregiver your loved one needs while protecting your own health and well-being. You get all the wisdom without any of the scars. Click on the link or just go to caregivermasterycourse.com. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need it. Comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips. New videos are posted here every Monday and Thursday. You're not alone. Let's do this together.